Hi there, it's Nick van den Berg, the Chief Strategist and Head of Network for VARA. We are live with our Dev Diary Showcase. Our inspirational CEO Greg Stevens and Dominik Abojkovic, the founder of Dark Fusion, are going to be unpacking and showcasing our incredible breakthrough on the Layer 2 Lightning Network. So stay tuned for the next 45 minutes as Greg and Dom talk about the vision of Dark Fusion and how it is empowering you, the ambassadors that are on this call. We're in the big arena in the first week of August as we'll be hosting our live pre-launch gaming event. We'll be sharing the links on the live event date soon, so make sure you book those dates as you're not going to want to miss out on this experience. So remember, if you've got any prospects and if you're looking for more information, please make sure that you share this video when it comes out on all our social media channels. I also have some exciting news as we'll be launching new promotions that tie into the new Star of VARA gaming universe. So stay tuned and get ready for what's to come. These are sure to take your organizations to great heights as we unlock a range of access packs and products that tie into the gaming universe. Welcome to the VARA universe. Over to you, Greg and Dom.
Welcome back, Dom. It's great to be here.
It's good to be back. Very
How
excited.
are you feeling, mate?
I'm feeling so excited. A lot of stuff's happened the last couple of weeks.
It's been a productive last few weeks, eh?
Big time.
So we've just come out of this crazy development process. Going back to our last conversation, we gave a very exciting update, but there's a lot that's happened over the last few weeks.
So much has happened. And we've got a few fun things to show off as well.
We do. So just going back, Dark Fusion Technologies, our vision is all around addressing the challenges and the problems of layer 1 blockchain, massive data redundancies, huge energy outputs, which the offset to that is really speed, scale, and cost. And we are really solving that problem with our layer 1 innovation through Dark Fusion Technologies, open payment channels and layer 2, self-custodial wallets, the future of financial services, blockchain services. It's a brave new world.
Big time.
So Dom, can you just give us a quick update? What have you been working on over the last few weeks since our last discussion? I know there's a lot of eager ears out there wanting to know what the progress is, what we've been up to, and why we've been fairly quiet over the last few weeks.
Yeah, so in the last couple of weeks, the main focus has really been taking our Lightning tokenization technology and putting it onto mobile phones, which isn't quite as easy as it sounds because it's not as simple as just putting a wallet onto a phone. What we've done is we're actually putting full Lightning nodes onto these phones. So these are full routing nodes that can open channels, send payments, and interact with the broader Lightning network in general. And not only that, we've innovated it with our SEL token protocol, which means now you can send tokenized assets, peer-to-peer on mobile phones through the Lightning network, which is incredibly exciting, and we'll show in a little bit. And it's all really coming together.
That's unbelievable. So I know we mentioned this in our last discussion that we are purporting to be one of the first companies globally to successfully tokenize assets on layer 2. And what we're going to do today is we're actually going to do a live demonstration of that process. Is that correct?
Yes, that is very correct.
That's amazing. So can you take us through the demonstration in detail of what we're going to be showcasing on these phones?
Yeah, so essentially both phones have full Lightning nodes that have been enabled, and both phones have been routed to a Dark Fusion hub node, and they've opened channels with that, which means these phones are actually not connected to each other by a Lightning channel. They're connected via a third party. So we're already routing our tokens through these Lightning channels, which might be a little bit technically detailed, but what it means is that our tokenization protocol is already compatible and interoperable with the broader Lightning network and its payment routing protocols.
Wow, that's incredible. And another cool thing that I know we're going to be demonstrating today. So we've got BTC that we will be transferring from one wallet to another wallet on your Android device. We've also built it and it is compatible for iOS with your node that's live and it's active on your phone. But we will be transferring. What is the currency we're going to be transferring today?
We're actually going to be transferring some VARA.
Wow, that is so cool.
Which is very fun. And another thing that's quite unique that we'll be doing is we will be doing the first dual asset transfer. So what we've managed to do with our implementation is we're actually binding multiple assets to a single Lightning Network transaction. So you can send BTC and VARA in a single transaction.
Can you just dumb that down for the audience? What does that actually mean, and what is the impact of that in the crypto industry going forward?
I'd say the biggest impact is a reduction in fees, a reduction in costs, and an increase in speed. And if you think of it from an exchange perspective or a B2B perspective, right now, if I want to send multiple tokens, I'm paying a transaction fee per individual token that I want to send. Whereas now, when we can bind multiple tokens, you could send a little bit of VARA, some Dark Fusion tokens, some BTC, some USDT, all of these tokens batched into a single payment, and you'll only pay one transaction fee for that. And the fee that you'll pay is a Lightning Network transaction fee, so it's only 1 or 2 Satoshis.
Wow, that's incredible. Really leaps and bounds with this innovation. Congratulations to you and your fantastic team. You are the founder of Dark Fusion Technologies, and what you've created here is nothing short of a miracle, especially in the time and really the context around this. We had to go through these learnings coming from a traditional gaming company, seeing the flaws and challenges in traditional Web3 products. As we mentioned, one of our original game launches was on the Polygon exchange, and going through that whole journey and that process led us in solving this unbelievable problem that now has created all this opportunity for us and our business.
Yeah, like big time. That I would say the learnings that we kind of discovered in this journey of development have fully informed what we've done. And I would also say that if it wasn't for the development work that we were doing on these other blockchains, trying out EVM, testing out all these things, I don't think we would have gotten to where we are today. So I'm very appreciative and happy about the journey that we've taken, because it's really led us to a place where I think we're going to, create a lot of value for the crypto industry in general, and that really excites me as I'm very pro crypto, obviously.
And I think more philosophically, when I speak about this, I talk about how we're changing the broader problem in crypto in general. How we're taking more of an egalitarian approach in how we're solving this problem, and how ultimately this is going to be a tool that not just us as a company can use for the better, but also the broader communities globally.
100%. I think that when it comes to decentralization and this new form of technology that has really emerged in the blockchain space, that empowering people in a more egalitarian and democratic way, I think, as we've seen time and time again with various crypto projects, tends to be the way where you get the most groundswell, where you provide the most value, where you help the most people. And I think that what we're doing can really benefit from a not only custodianship of assets, but also a point of sale perspective, a dealing with internet connectivity.
I'm going to get to that point. That's a crazy point. But I think before we dive into that detail, I want to take us through this demonstration. This is the main point of our discussion today, is to showcase the breakthrough that we've made with our Dark Fusion technology, leveraging on simple contract language. The self-custodial wallet, having a node on your phone where you can transfer BTC, but you can also transfer other tokenized assets. And this really is where it opens up a world of possibilities.
And you can do so on existing Lightning channels. So there's no need to recreate the Lightning Network. We're not creating a side chain or a side network. This all sits on BTC Layer 1 and BTC Lightning Network Layer 2.
And I think also an interesting question, and I know we discussed this in our last dev diary, was around this technology being as ubiquitous as possible, and that really goes back down to it being a UTXO based protocol, which we've developed out, and how that opens up to a lot of other possibilities with a lot of other blockchains.
Yes, of course. So I'm obviously very pro Bitcoin and love it. It's unashamedly my favorite blockchain, but because we designed SCL to be UTXO based, essentially any UTXO-based blockchain can leverage the benefits of what we've done with SEL and also leverage the benefits of the Lightning Network, and furthermore be able to transfer those tokens at those speeds. So you could put this onto the Doge blockchain or the Litecoin blockchain if you wanted. So there's a lot of fun little interactions.
Which also helps with liquidity.
Of course.
And let's just talk about the indicators in the market at the moment with Bitcoin. There is a lot of talk. We know the halving's coming up next year, but an exciting thing that I saw recently was Binance's integration into Lightning that's been confirmed, and really their bullishness around, getting that done.
Binance jumping into the Lightning Network with Bitcoin is one of the most amazing things that could have happened to us in a weird way, because everything we're doing is reinforcing the Lightning Network. These massive custodial centralized exchanges have generally been quite hostile to Lightning Network for the longest time, because it threatens their ability to control liquidity. These exchanges are constantly limiting the amount of Bitcoin that's leaving them. They put 24-hour withdrawal periods on. Famously, when FTX was crashing, they first limited it to a 24-hour withdrawal, and they kept extending the time until nobody could get access to their crypto. And because of Lightning Network's instantaneous nature, a lot of exchanges have been very hesitant to implement it. But I think we're finally seeing a shift in the tides, where the biggest exchange globally is now implementing Lightning Network. Bitfinex have always been very pro Lightning as well, and I feel what we're going to see now is the move to layer 2 across the entire exchange systems.
Amazing. And also, going back to my ubiquitous comment, not just around it being UTXO based, but the wrapping other coins and having that atomic swap functionality in and out of the Lightning network, which again is addressing these liquidity questions around how are we going to get adoption, how are we going to bring community, how are we going to build out this system.
So I'm so glad that you brought that up, because anyone who has worked with Lightning Network or experienced these layer 2 protocols is familiar with atomic swaps. One of the benefits to atomic swaps is we can effectively interface directly with any existing EVM chains to do a smart contract based atomic swaps into the Lightning Network for wrapped tokenization. So with this sort of technology, we can very easily atomic swap ETH in and out of chains. We can do this with any of Ethereum or any of the other EVM based layer 2s as well, like the Raiden network. And we can run all of this through SEL, which is quite a big step.
But I think I'm a traditionalist by nature, and BTC, when it came out, the vision of Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto, when he first released his white paper, and his vision of what Bitcoin was supposed to be, and why it is the most dominant blockchain in terms of market share, and the most trusted blockchain. And I think that's where I get the most excitement in what we're building.
Big time. Again, I'll say it time and time again, I'm a big Bitcoin fan. For me, there is something incredibly special about the fact that Bitcoin's hash rates today are so large that it's practically infeasible for any government to even tamper with the chain. So, a lot of...
And it's also like this idea where it's a regulator hands-off approach. They just leave them alone. And that really is the digital, currency platform of the future.
Yeah, and I think that there's a good precedent that the Bitcoin layer 1 can, evolve into the authentication layer of the internet. And when that happens, Lightning apps and decentral Lightning apps, I think, are going to really take a forefront. And we've already seen some very promising experimental projects on the Lightning layer, like the Noster social network. And, I think what we're doing with Dark Fusion is going to supercharge all of this development.
Incredible, Dom. So before we move on and go into a little bit more detail, let's do our demonstration today. We have promised that this demonstration has been done. We're going to live showcase it today, the incredible work that Dom and his team have managed to get through over the last several months. But now, in the short term, we will be bringing this into the VARA ecosystem. And again, to reiterate, Dark Fusion Technologies, we have built out this unbelievable layer 2 solution, but the real use case behind this and how we're going to grow community and we're going to build out this ecosystem is through the VARA product and platform. And this leverages off all the technologies that we're building through Dark Fusion, which is the self-custodial wallet, which will be the wallet integrated into the VARA product. You'll be able to transfer and trade digital assets over layer 2, and all the other functionality that we're bringing in through our decentral exchange, which we will be launching this year, and how we will have a curated exchange that will be live and running through the VARA platform. And then, the future of blockchain services, financial services, but VARA really being the cornerstone of driving community adoption and success of this technology. Now to the exciting part of our showcase, the demonstration of sending tokenized assets over the layer 2 Lightning Network on your smart device, self-custodial wallet. Wow, this is what we're going to showcase today.
Self-custodial wallet and full Lightning node.
That's incredible. So let's get started.
Fantastic.
We've got 2 phones here. Just talk us through the process and how this all works. We're going to get a camera overshot just so you can see the entire flow end to end.
Perfect. So I'm just unlocking the phones here. You'll see on both phones I've got a Dark Fusion wallet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first open up our Dark Fusion wallet. Immediately you will be greeted with your VARA and Satoshi balances. Satoshi is just another way of visualizing how much BTC you have. This is a very simplistic interface just to showcase the technology so far. Quite simply, I go to the receive screen, I enter the amount of Bitcoin I want to receive. I'm going to go with 1,250 Satoshis, and I'm going to say I would like to receive 25 VARA. Once I've done that, I can generate the QR code. Generates quite quickly. This is a Lightning invoice, and then I simply hit send, scan the QR code, and confirm. And once I've done that, it will come through very quickly.
That quick. What was the time that it took there?
That's probably a couple milliseconds. I think we're looking at like about 300 milliseconds depending on the distance to the server. Right now we're in South Africa and the server is in London, so we're pipping to the server and back, so you're looking at probably about 600 milliseconds.
That's incredible. And your typical cost for this transaction?
So in this scenario, we actually set the routing fee to 0 because this is between 2 Dark Fusion wallet users who are both connected to our node. But your typical Lightning Network transaction fees are around 1 Satoshi, which is 1/100 millionth of a Bitcoin, or 0.002 US cents.
That's incredible. I think we need to do that one more time.
Cool. I'll show you right now. It's don't blink and you'll miss it.
So Dom, just before you do this transaction, again, just for the audience, can you just explain, you've got BTC and VARA in your wallet.
Yeah.
So those are 2 assets in your Lightning wallet.
100%, and both of these assets are in the Lightning channel already, and they're channeled into our main hub. And what we're doing is we're going to generate an invoice, and it's a multi-asset invoice. And that's kind of a new concept because we're the first people to be doing this. So what you can do is you can have a invoice, a Lightning invoice that asks for both BTC and VARA tokens. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to request 1,500 Satoshis. And I generate the invoice. It'll generate quite quickly. And then I can go here and again simply scan the invoice, confirm, and it'll send through.
Wow, that was almost instant.
Yeah. Very exciting.
So is it fair to say that VARA is the first successfully sent tokenized asset on layer 2 to our knowledge?
100%.
That's amazing. That's incredible. Now, this is obviously our sort of version 1 interface.
Yes.
When we're looking at the future now of point of sale,
Yeah.
because this is one of the big drivers of our future business in the financial services industry, in what we're going to do from a point of sale perspective, how would that work on one's phone? We have discussed this using NFC tap technology, just like you would with Apple Pay. But what is the impact of that in emerging markets and looking at it from a non-connectivity basis?
So, brilliant question, and I'm going to unpack that in 3 phases. So the first phase is how the Lightning Wallet helps us from a point of sale perspective. So the beauty of this is, if anyone's tried to start a business, you'll know setting up a point of sale can be quite expensive. There have recently been a lot of, Visa approved, kind of small point of sale devices are a little bit cheaper, but they still require you to buy a unique hardware device, which again isn't the cheapest thing out there. What we've done is through our Dark Fusion wallet, you will be able to effectively generate Lightning invoices from your mobile phone, and you can do it in any currency that we support. And what this means is, you could start a business, generate an invoice, show the QR code, someone can walk past, scan the code, immediately pay. Or what we're also implementing is full NFC functionality with tap to pay. So person could generate the Lightning invoice, how much they want to receive, and someone else just walks past, taps their phone, payment will go through, instantly have the crypto in your wallet.
And you don't need connectivity for a transaction to happen.
And you don't need connectivity for a transaction to happen. And the main way this is done is because Lightning Network is using an off-chain approach with these kind of bidirectional channels that have these commitment transactions, which include these hash time locked contracts. You can exchange these commitment transactions offline and effectively pay people in non-connected situations.
When we're looking at emerging markets, connectivity, the impact of that is profound.
Yeah, it's digital cash in the realist sense.
Wow, incredible. So we looked at VARA, we looked at BTC in the wallet now. We know that there's a lot of current wallets operational today that allow you to transfer and send BTC over the Lightning Network. But what other currencies are we going to include with this innovation in the wallet in the future?
The beauty about that is we can really include any. So we can make stable coins for any existing fiat currencies, and I think what we're definitely going to do is break this protocol open to everyone so that anyone can list their own tokens using our technology and really just open it up to the whole world.
And from an opportunity perspective, given our ambassadors in the future of, we talk about empowering the masses, business in your pocket, from a point of sale financial services, this really gives our communities the opportunity to have the ability to help us propagate this technology and realize this vision, but also have an earning opportunity of transactional revenue into the future with this technology.
Definitely. I think it not only gives them the ability to, set up their own POS systems in their pocket and start a business with just a mobile phone, but it also allows you to start crypto-based businesses such as your own ICO or running your own, crypto-based games with your own tokenization. You can create your own, token-based smart contracts as well that have their own unique interfaces and don't have the extensive upfront costs that EVM
and the onerous hardware costs. Connectivity on and on and on, really, solving problems across the board. What you've done here, Dom, is truly amazing. And in the time that you've done it, but through, the journey of solving real problems, applying to, our own businesses and how we come out the other side. Very exciting stuff. And I just want to say well done again. Very impressive stuff.
Thank you so much. And with a fantastic team as well.
Okay, great, Dom. So we've gone through a successful showcase, sending tokenized assets over layer 2, unbelievable stuff, how this is going to apply to the future of our business and is fueling the VARA ecosystem. Now we've had a lot of feedback from the network over the last several weeks. We're obviously working on some groundbreaking stuff which we're about to release. One of the things I wanted to address with you is around the tokenomics, around VARA and around Dark Fusion. We are still working on finalizing our white paper. Obviously, there's a lot of complexity around the technology, which is Dark Fusion, and tying that into the VARA ecosystem, which is taking some time, but we are in the final stages. And the token topology and what we've worked out from a tokenomics perspective really is looking very, very good. And we wanted to announce that this is coming. We have been working on this. It's a big focus of ours. But I think just to step back now is talking around the value of VARA. Let's break it down. The utility behind VARA. We know what it means from an access key perspective, which we've communicated with the network. But I wanted you to talk to the VARA tokenomics, breaking down its value, and then we can move on to dark fusion and how they connect together.
So to talk a little bit about the VARA tokenomics, and I think everyone understands the value behind it from an access key and bond perspective, which is very much a traditional video game revenue subscription model with a kind of incentive baked in there. But I think where VARA gets very interesting for me as a gamer is its utility within the StarVARA MMO and how it can be utilized for a variety of in-game activities that will take that VARA and they will actually burn it permanently. So what this will do is the game activity will create a permanent deflationary pressure on the token, and this means that you'll have by default a token appreciation in value baked into it. And what's quite exciting is that the more activity and people we have playing the game, the faster the token is going to burn and the higher its value is going to climb at a faster rate.
So really the drive was around creating a fundamentally strong token economy that is VARA, and then ultimately our dark fusion tokenomics, which are in the process of now being finalized. So we've talked around the utility with VARA in the ecosystem. Again, the immense value in the access keys, which give you access to 33% of the bond revenue through the multiplicative approach with your access keys, and having those VARA tokens is crucial because there is a limited supply of access keys, and it's a pretty big deal where you're offering up 33% of the company's revenue exclusively to the network.
Yeah, and on a game-by-game basis, I mean, Fortnite in the last year did $6 billion on cosmetics alone. If you're offering 33% of your revenue in that scenario, it's $2 billion comparatively.
And also this positive kind of feedback that we get from having this bond system, which is not only incentivizing the network through the access keys and the VARA tokens, but we're also investing back into our economy.
We're also investing back into our economy, and I'd also say that the bonds form a key component that creates a player-driven economy. And this is something I've often talked about from a drop tables perspective, but to go a little bit more into detail on it, kind of get two schools of thought in video games when it comes to selling items to players. One approach is to just open a shop, sell items to players. And the fundamental problem with that approach is the company ends up selling power, and they do so in a manner where there is an infinite supply of the item, because if you ever want the item, you can just go to the company store and they basically mint them from nothing. Now, what we've done and how this ties into the bond is ours is a player-determined economy, which means no item in StarVARA can be created without player effort. And this means that the items in StarVARA are ultimately priced by our players. And that fundamental difference ties to the bond, because the bond is our kind of pricing mechanism. And I think that those things tied together creates a huge opportunity, not only for networkers to get into this environment and see ways in which they can earn, but also gamers who want to earn items that are incredibly rare, or they want to maybe monopolize certain industries within the StarVARA game and fight for territory in the PvP zone. So there's a lot of macroeconomic detail built into that that's incredibly exciting.
And always going back to our fundamental principle of we drive value through the demand of our product and our game, which we've been building over the last 3 years now. This is, I know your life's work, and I know it's mine, and it really is this convergence now where we're bringing these worlds together, we're bringing the IP to the table, and we're bringing a really strong product, which is ultimately going to grow that demand.
Big time.
And in turn, fuel this economy. And I think one other point I want to mention is, we talk about layer 2, but this idea around having a walled garden approach, moving away traditional Web3 gaming products, which are isolated to the Web3 market, but we're opening up traditional gaming. You don't have to be a crypto enthusiast. We can access traditional gaming markets to fuel our economy.
For me, the walled garden approach is fundamental to our success as a video game.
Yeah.
Time and time again, I've seen Web3 games that require MetaMask wallets to play, that require upfront Ethereum, that require extensive investment into the crypto project, And what that means is 9 times out of 10, it's not actually gamers playing these games, it's the investors. It's the people who have an incentivized stake in the game playing it, and they don't get natural organic growth. And the irony is that all of these products require natural organic growth to succeed. So what we've done with the walled garden is we've said, hey, we really want normal gamers on PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, PC, Steam, everything in our ecosystem. We want them playing our game. So to that end, the whole crypto side of what we're doing is very much optional to the gamer. But at any point in time, you can choose to mint your assets and turn them into tokens that are transferable on the Lightning Network. But let's say you just want to play a game and you're not too bothered about getting Bitcoin or loading crypto, or none of that really interests you. You're more than welcome to just come and play the game, have a good time, purchase a bond for fiat, fuel the ecosystem, and keep it going.
Makes absolute sense. And again, I want to make that point on how you're accessing a traditional gaming market, and specifically with our mobile first strategy of 2.7 billion online gamers, where traditionally Web3 games, it's a very small percentage of the market that you actually have access to or are even engaging in these products.
It's incredibly niche at the
moment. There's no critical mass.
Yeah, I'd say Web3 gaming is less than 1% of gaming at the
moment. Less
than
1%. And our goal and our vision is to bridge that gap. It's really to take the traditional gaming market using Web3 tools and having this experience, but not discounting, the real traction that one gets through accessing that monster market.
100%, and I would say to that point, and why the Web2 market was a big driving force to the Web2 gaming market was a big driving force to us creating this Lightning Network tokenization, because we looked at EVM protocols, we looked at other layer 1 solutions, we looked at sidechain scaling solutions, and none of them could hit the throughput required to run a single video game. So like for us, it was like, if you're thinking of this huge interoperable token future that is Ready Player One, that is touted by all of these crypto layer 1 fundies, I feel that you have to hit the throughput requirements of at least one AAA video game, let alone the entire industry.
So Dom, thanks for breaking VARA down. Now we're going to move over to Dark Fusion, and then we're going to lead off with the DEX, which is the final part of our presentation and update today. Dark Fusion now, in terms of our communication to the network, has been quite a recent development and very exciting announcement, but we want to tie these two together. We've talked about VARA. We are in the final stages of completing our tokenomic plan, our token topology. We'll have all the material out for our network and the public market, which is going to coincide with our media roadshow, which will be released in the month of August. So we are very close to finalizing this. But just to talk breakdown now of Dark Fusion, the token, the value, and the symbiotic relationship between DFT and VARA.
When it comes to Dark Fusion and how it ties into the VARA ecosystem and the DEX, it's hard to talk about it without mentioning the decentral exchange. So I'm going to kind of mention those tokenomics together. So effectively, what we realized is once you tokenize assets on the Lightning Network, you immediately have the scenario where you can get rid of these escrow risks that normally exist with traditional layer 1 decentral exchanges. And once you've removed those risks, there are all these great efficiency benefits. And we saw that as a huge way to add value to our users and our gamers. And then we also saw it as an opportunity to create more long-term sustained value in supporting this ecosystem. And so what we've done through that is effectively Dark Fusion is, Lightning Network token technology play, and the decentral nodes will be hosted by a variety of individuals. So you will stake Dark Fusion tokens in order to run one of these nodes, and those who stake tokens on these nodes will then earn Dark Fusion over time. And we're going to use a similar emission schedule to Bitcoin, where a majority of the tokens are earned sooner, and it kind of tapers off over time, leading to ultimately a limited token supply to everyone who is supporting facilitate this DEX with us.
That's incredible. And how does that drive value for VARA?
Where it drives value for VARA is very simple. The VARA token will be listed on the DEX. you'll be able to, instantly swap your VARA for any other token on the deck. So that's BTC, Dark Fusion token.
So having
as
trading
well.
pairs.
100%.
And that really, the value is intrinsically linked between the two.
Yes.
Not to mention VARA being the first tokenized asset on layer 2 through the VARA ecosystem.
Exactly. And Greg, I'd say the thing that excites me most about the Dark Fusion nodes is that if you get in early on this, in the way we've structured the tokenomics, it's very similar to getting in early with Bitcoin or Ethereum from a mining perspective, or any of these layer 1 protocols with how they release their coins to the public. In fact, our tokenomics right now has less of a pre-mine than Ethereum did.
Wow, that's incredible. So it really is an opportunity to grasp at with both hands.
Big time.
So can we also just talk to the ratio between the Dark Fusion swap in our most recent promotion and the relative value? So, there have been questions around that. Maybe just a clarification.
Yes, currently there's a 100 to 1 swap for VARA tokens for Dark Fusion tokens for anyone who wants to use their existing VARA supply to get in on supporting the DEX and getting a node up and running. You'll obviously need Dark Fusion tokens in order to run a node because you'll have to stake them, and so that is a good way for you to swap them out relatively. In terms of the value, the Dark Fusion's total supply is significantly less than VARA, hence why it is at a 100 to 1 ratio.
So it's fair to say that this is limited, it's an exclusive offering, it's not going to be easy to access these tokens.
Yes, it's
in the early stages.
Yes, it's a limited supply tokenomics overall, and we're using a similar emission schedule to Bitcoin when they first launched. So
which is actually very strategic.
Yes, of course.
given that we're working on layer 2 and Bitcoin is our blockchain.
Yes, and it heavily incentivizes people to get in early, start hosting a node, help us build the network up, and they're going to naturally benefit from doing so.
Amazing. And lastly, how that ties into VARA, because I think a lot of the questions that are coming through is we've now bought VARA, now we have this opportunity to swap into DFT, which both are limited. What is the symbiotic relationship and how do you connect the value? And we know that they're trading pairs, but how do these two work together?
So to talk a little bit about how Dark Fusion and VARA reinforce each other, when it comes to any Web3 or crypto-based game project, they all have these tokenized systems, and their tokens ultimately need a place that they can exist where they can be exchanged for value. And what this has led to is all these kind of Web3 gaming companies are clamoring for centralized exchange listings, which means they're beholden to these points of authority, which kind of undermines the whole decentral nature of crypto in general. What we've done through adding the Dark Fusion DEX is that all of our VARA token holders will be able to extract value from their VARA token through the exchange functionality, and that adds a huge amount of value to that token and will build up its price as well. And I feel the way this reinforces the Dark Fusion exchange is that for an exchange to be healthy, you need a lot of high trading, high liquidity trading pairs that people can gain value and arbitrage and do DeFi with. And VARA becomes one of the first class AAA token pairs that can be traded across the exchange. Fundamentally, these two tokens reinforce each other's value.
That's amazing. Thanks for that clarification, Dom. Now, finally, we're going to end off with a little update on the progress of the game. We're leading into our pre-launch of our mobile-first strategy with our Battle Royale, which is coming to the network in the coming months. Very exciting times. I must say what you guys have done, bringing this game, which was traditionally the roadmap was building it for PC console first, but bringing it to our smart devices in the short term, creating the opportunity for the community to be involved in the progress build of the game, creating that positive feedback loop, doing monthly updates, leading up to the exchange where we have this ability to release patches, and then you're able to speculate on your wearables and your game items, cosmetics. It really is exciting. And I must say, seeing the latest build of the game, this is going to be incredible. So can you just give us a quick update on the progress here with the release coming soon, and what that looks like over the next 6 months.
Yeah, so first off, it was incredibly challenging scaling down a lot of the AAA PlayStation graphics to run on a phone, so that's been a fun experience. But I think we're very much on track, and we're very excited to put this in the hands of people. We're going to obviously first be rolling out with the Battle Royale, which the game will launch with.
Well, Battle Royale and the MMO experience.
Yes.
So you'll be able to create your avatar.
Yes, of course.
You engage in the initial phase, which is the space station,
Yeah.
massively multiplayer online, and then through that you can engage in the Battle Royale.
Yeah, so you'll be able
game.
to create your avatar, log into the space station, chat to other people, walk around, socialize, jump into some Battle Royale games, very fun. We'll be enabling your wallet, so you'll start to be able to get your tokens and activate the Lightning nodes. Also gives us an
So
opportunity.
that means Layer 2, your Lightning nodes, will be active in the first stage of this MMO experience.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
and we'll also use it as an opportunity for us to, thoroughly, robustly test all this technology with video game assets, and then that'll lead up to the launch of the DEX, where we can roll it out for full crypto assets, DeFi, we start wrapping Ethereum and BTC and having all sorts of fun trades happening.
That's incredible, and that happens closer to the end of the year,
Yeah.
where we'll be launching the decentral exchange. But talk us around the game launch sequence in terms of the patches. Also, the feedback was when are we going to move into planets? When are we going to move into our PvP zones?
Yeah.
Talk us a little around the narrative on that roadmap.
Yeah, so initially we're going to launch with everything that we've chatted about, and then from that point onwards we're going to do monthly patches. And these monthly patches are going to expand the functionality of the MMO experience, but also add additional content to the Battle Royale, such as tournaments and various other features like skins and new ships and updates to balance. We'll also be adding questing to the game. We'll be adding various planets as we continue. A couple months in, we'll probably start adding PvP zones where people can, shoot each other down, and that's going to get really fun because these zones will actually have smart contracts that will lock your assets up when you enter them, so that if you die in the zone, you can't quickly turn the machine off to not have your crypto get lost. It'll actually go to the person who killed you. So there's some very fun high-risk dynamics built in there, and yeah.
But also just being able to, be an engineer or be a fisherman or, go and forage and mine for resources on these planets.
Yes, so we've got over 26 non-combat skills that we'll be rolling out over the course of the development cycle. So as we're doing these monthly dates, these skills will come in the patches as well. So we might have a fishing and woodcutting update where a very naturally rich planet is released with a bunch of trees and oceans, and then people can fly down to that planet and there'll be a bunch of fishing rods and they can start training these new non-combat skills, and then that'll introduce new items to the in-game economy, which can then be traded with all the existing trading pairs.
I think this is where I'm the most excited, was looking at, a favorite of ours, which is RuneScape, and looking at that economy and how it currently operates and how it ticks. This strategy of going mobile first and having these monthly patches, when we get to critical mass and we're building community, can you imagine the kind of excitement around speculating on these patches with new items coming into the game?
Yeah, I mean, for me, that's where I'm like in my happy place.
Yeah.
Like that's what I want to do. And I think to that point, we're also going to do a lot of spontaneous events, which are designed to kind of really shake up the economy and present also opportunities for people within the game. So I'll give an example of this. We might do a boss fight that is only available for 3 days and drops incredibly rare items. So there's going to be a period for 3 days where people have to go and find this boss somewhere in the universe and go and fight it to earn these rewards. And there's going to be all sorts of, daily, weekly, and monthly, content updates designed to keep people engaged and designed to reward people with items, in-game power-ups, boosts, ways to get more XP, and all sorts of fun things like that.
So a lot of exciting things happening, a lot of information to digest in this showcase. We wanted to give the network a comprehensive update. Again, we've been working on this business for a long time now. Dom and I, we're super excited about the future, especially what we're doing from a layer 2 perspective. And all the opportunities that creates within this VARA ecosystem. Thanks for joining us today. I hope you guys enjoyed the showcase. watch out for our pre-launch dates. We'll be doing a live showcase coming soon. It will be communicated, and also we will be releasing our respective white papers regarding dark fusion and VARA and everything else that comes with it. We really appreciate you guys as the network, and I appreciate your time here, Dom. Hope you guys
I appreciate yours, Craig.
Thanks. Cheers.